And how about the sabotage of Nord Stream pipeline? How do you see it what are the impacts of this economically on Europe?
The war has hit Europe very hard because between sanctions and Russian countermeasures, the flow of gas and oil from Russia to Europe was basically ended, and that meant an energy supply crisis in Europe, and it will hit the European economy and drive the European economy into a contraction. Russia had basically turned off the flow of gas, but it could have turned it back on again in the context of negotiations. And there was calls for negotiations coming from German business, for example. Then, kaboom, the pipeline was blown up. My own guess is the United States blew up the pipeline because the United States always viewed the pipeline as Europe's dependence on Russia. And so by blowing it up, it would end the option of turning the energy flow back on. Of course, it would make the European crisis even deeper. But my guess is that the United States blew up the pipeline, partly because Biden really foreshadowed that in February, and people can find it online, in a press conference that he held with Chancellor Olaf Scholz of Germany. He was asked by a reporter what would happen to the pipeline if there's a Russian invasion. And he said, if Russia invades, the Nord Stream pipeline is over. And the reporter was quite surprised. What do you mean it's over? It's a Russia-German pipeline. And Biden says, believe me, we have our ways. You know, it's incredible. It's really remarkable to watch. And then after the pipeline was blown up, the Secretary of State of the United States called it a, quote, tremendous opportunity to finally wean Europe from Russian energy. Whoa, is that what you would say about sabotage of international infrastructure? That it's a tremendous opportunity? Wouldn't you say someone's committed a dastardly crime that has created an even deeper economic crisis and we're going to get to the bottom of it? Would you talk about it as a tremendous opportunity? Well, yeah, perhaps you would if you did it. So I'm of the view that the U.S. probably did it. I don't have definitive proof. I find it weird that when Sweden went to have a look at what happened, they ended up saying, okay, for national security reasons, we will not share the information of our investigation, even with Germany and Denmark. Oh, what did you find? A little American flag at the bottom of the sea? I don't know. But, you know, what do you mean you won't share the information with your neighbors within the European Union? It's all tantamount to Europe not wanting to know the real story, whether it was the UK backed by the US or the US backed by the UK or the US alone or whatever. We don't know. And no one's talking because the US government doesn't talk honestly about these things, obviously.